Today, Terri is our spotlight speaker. She's a very dear friend of mine. She is also a best-selling author, Face to Face with God, My Best Friend. She also has a short film that was created about this one story of her life. She is a professional empowerment speaker, a transformational coach. Uh, she has expertise in a lot of areas. So you all can hear from her directly. I'm going to stop sharing and let Terri take it from here.
Hey, well, thank
Santa,
you very much.
15 minutes on the clock, please.
15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to buzz through this one then.
Well,
Okay,
you can make it 17. Can you change it 17?
make it 17, Papa.
I was looking at how much time we have, so we should be okay.
Okay. All righty. Well, my title for this short message is Unchain Your Success, How Releasing the Past Unlocks Your Next Level. So I have a question I want to ask you, but before I say a single word, this is not about business strategy or marketing or scaling your revenue. This, whoops, you there?
Yeah, we're
Okay,
here.
okay, I
You,
thought I lost you. It's, I'm going to ask you something personal. Think about the last time a big opportunity came your way, a partnership, a client, a deal, an investment, something that could have changed everything, and you hesitated. Or you undercharged, or you said yes when every cell in your body was screaming no. Or if you walked away from something you actually wanted. Now, I want you to sit with that for a moment. Just kind of play it around in your mind a little bit. Now, here's what most business coaches will not tell you: that hesitation, that pattern. It didn't start in your business, it started somewhere in your past, long before you had a company, a brand, or even a LinkedIn profile. You built a brilliant business on top of an unexamined wound, and it shows up every single day in how you price, how you lead, and how you trust, and how far you let yourself go. Again, I'm not here today to give you another framework or a 5-step funnel. I'm here to help you find out actually what could be holding you back, not only in your business, but your life and relationships. And release is so good. So I want to share a story. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. It's an everyday thing right now. I lost many, many opportunities where people believed in me, but I didn't believe in myself because I have gone through a lot of traumatic situations in my life. So my story is this. I had a gentleman, I worked at a place called Home and Garden Party, and it's a party plan company, just like Tupperware, kind of. And I love to go to these parties, and I thrive on these parties, and I make a lot of money. But here's what happened: because of lack of confidence in myself and tons of rejection in my life, I didn't follow through with all these hostesses, and I lost a lot of money. Now, here's the catcher of that. I had a phone call one day that about knocked me off my chair. It was the vice president of the company. And he said, I've heard nothing but great things from your team leader. You know, you've won a lot of awards, you show up, and I want to personally fly you out here to Marshall, Texas, to train you to be one of the top selling leaders. I was speechless. But guess what? Because my low self esteem was so low, I turned the offer down. I look back now thinking, well, maybe there was a plan and all that, because the company eventually shut down and went on nothing but online sales. So, it could have been something there. But because I've had so many traumatic situations as a child, I grew up in an alcoholic family. I had a brother who bullied me. I had a kindergarten who bullied me. At 27 years old, I thought I met the man of my dreams. He told me that he'd been in the Marine Corps for 9 years, when actually He was in prison for first-degree murder. Now, talk about your world just shattering like glass. 2 days later, I decided after our divorce, I wanted to go to a shopping center that I grew up around and worked at many jobs. And I was going to go into the department store and buy some makeup to cover all the bruises because my husband was beating me up all the time. I should say my ex-husband. I'm now happily married for almost 32 years. So with that being said, a man approached me. I thought he was going to ask me the time of day, and he walked me back to my car and with a knife to my throat. A long story, but I did send him to prison for 30 years. And on top of all that, my life changed forever. And now when I'm on stages, I share this story because I went from being an alcoholic, a full-fledged drug dealer, a pool hustler. In fact, I won the award, the #1 female pool hustler in the state of Indiana. And I'm really proud of that. But if you ask me if I can play pool now, it's like I'm very rusty. So with all that being said, I went from a very introverted, shy person to work with myself over 30 years ago to become that, to have that major transformation. I wanted to know who I was. I wanted to remove those emotional triggers from my past, and I wanted to have a brighter future. And I did all that. And now I am known to be the resilient woman that can bounce back from any adversity. So how about you? What triggers could be holding you back? But I want to, the version that Bill, that you might have right now, you might still be carrying a lot of weight, meaning baggage from your past. So if you feel compelled to put it in the chat, I'm going to ask you this question. What would it look like if you laid just one emotional trigger down? How would it look like in your business? How would it look like in your life? How would it show up in your relationships? And that work, it can start today. Because when you work through the transformation and those remove those emotional triggers like mine, I became such a more of a bolder woman, a courageous woman, and a unique woman. Because 30 years ago, I didn't know who I was because I had so many people sharing the power over me. And once I took that power back, not only did my life change, but my business changed dramatically. So I'm going to talk about 3 different masks that we could be wearing right now. Number one is the avoider. The root of this is past rejections, failures, or punishment of being too much. Okay, in business, procrastination on launches, avoid hard conversations, disappears when visibility peaks, stay comfortable, stay stuck. If you are still living in your own comfort zone, then you're most likely stuck from something that happened to you in your past. I was stuck for many, 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 many years. So if you know you're an avoider, so here's a way you can look at this. When you've been getting ready to get ready for months. Can anybody relate to me on that one? When you have a project and you just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. It took me 7 years to write my book, Face to Face with God, My Best Friend. But you know what? The thing about it is you can know exactly who you are in the mirror. Number 2, the overachiever. Somebody put way, way too many expectations on you as a child. Overachievers are more prone to heart attacks than any other mask that I'm going to share today. The root of it is conditional love. Do you guys know what I mean when I say conditional love growing up? It means that your parents didn't think you were good enough. They had too many expectations on you. And you were only valued when you produced. Okay? In business, you can work 80 hours chasing proof of worth, meaning you don't delegate, you set impossible standards for yourself, and you burn out repeatedly. You might be successful, but eventually you will suffer as a result of it. So is there anybody right now that's in the burnout stage? No one? Oh, that's great. Yay. Okay. So Mike will tell you the same thing. It's very important to keep your emotional tank filled. Okay. And that means giving time for yourself, giving, going out and playing golf, or women going to get pedicures, just anything that you can fill your emotional tank with. Because if you don't, the old saying goes, you're not going to be good for anybody else. So the last one is the people pleaser. Oh, this was me to the core. So the root is learn that peace equals silence, that needs equal burden. In business, underpricing, over delivers, attracts bad fit clients, can't set boundaries, resentment builds silently and gives everything away. Anybody relate to that one? Mike can. Okay. Alrighty. So again, I'm opening with this bold question. What if the biggest obstacle in your business isn't the market? It's something you're still carrying. And you could be carrying this around from the day that you turn 7 years old. 7 years old is when you really do shape your self-confidence and your image about yourself. So, why triggers live in your body? Well, every emotional trigger that you have faced in your life, starting at age 7, mine personally started at age 5. The triggers remain in your body until you're ready to release them. So you could have betrayal, abandonment, trust issues. You could be you could feel like a victim of your own story. You could be, all kinds of different things that could be going on in your body. I know for me, and I have a negative clearing chart that I share with my clients. And when I did my own research and I circled them, there's 130 negative things on there. I circled about 100. Now, if I look at this negative chart and start to circle, I might come up with 2. But the biggest thing I want you to take away from this, emotional triggers will stay in your body until you learn how to release them. So 30 some years ago, I went on my own journey to discover who Terri really was. I didn't know her. And so after the transformation, people didn't recognize me because I didn't recognize myself. Why is that? Because I let all those emotional triggers go. I got my power back from all these people that have hurt me in my lifetime. And I became that resilient woman. I didn't even recognize myself in the mirror. But why is that? Because I didn't know the real Terri. Today, I honestly can tell you this. I love the Terri that I see in the mirror, and I give herself a loud and proud 10 because I know where I've been, and I know where I'm at today, and I know where I'm going. Can you say the same thing? So I got an exercise for you that I want you to, wait a minute. Here you are. I think I hit the wrong button here. I want you to close your eyes. Okay, everybody close their eyes. I'm looking. Take one deep breath. Let it out slowly. Now think of one pattern in your business that keeps showing up. What is that one pattern in your business that keeps showing up? Maybe it's a hesitation. Maybe it's overworking. Maybe it's saying yes when you really mean to say no. Now go ahead and just pick one. Now ask yourself, when did I first feel this way? When did I first feel this way? Don't overthink it. Just let the first memory come. How old were you? And where were you? And I'll just give you a few seconds to ponder on that one. Okay, now here's what I want you to understand is the younger version of you made a decision in that moment to protect yourself. And it worked. It kept you safe then. Okay, now take another deep breath. and silently say this. You can say it in your heart. You don't need to say it out loud. Thank you for protecting me. I don't need this anymore. I do not need this emotional trigger any longer. I am safe to let it go. I am ready to move out of my comfort zone and have the business and lifestyle that I always have wanted. Take one more breath in, and on the exhale, release that emotional trigger. Okay, you can open your eyes. I just want to give you a call to action here. John Maxwell says it so beautifully. In order to get to the highest peak of the mountain, you first have to leave your baggage at the bottom. Meaning, if you want to soar in your business life and relationships, you have to figure out what that baggage is. And that's where I can come in and definitely help you. I've served over, I don't know how many clients I have now, but I've been a coach now for 14 years. Absolutely love it. I know my coaching program changes lives. So I always offer a 45-minute complimentary session. It could be a life coaching or it could be a business coaching. That's totally up to you. My calendar link is in the chat. All you have to do is click on that and schedule it, and then I will be back in touch with you. But please, if you feel like you're stuck, anything that I've said, please reach out to me. Okay, because I know I can help you. I just want to share very briefly before I have to end. This is one of my client success stories. When she came to me, when I asked her on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, where do you see yourself in the mirror? She could only give me a 1. That was me back then. I could only give myself a 1. However, when she came to me and we started doing discovery sessions, come to find out, she had had 38 affairs, marital affairs. She was so glowing on the outside, but she was dying on the inside. And this is what Mike and I call imposter syndrome. You're not showing us your true self. You're not showing us your true authentic self. So I worked with her for many months. I'm happy to say she has released everything. She's forgiven herself. She's forgiven those who have hurt her. She is now a hairstylist. She never thought she could be a hairstylist because she didn't have the confidence. And so now she's just moving on. She's now a nurse. She is just thriving. Actually, she was at my house a couple days ago because I keep in close contact with my clients, former clients and new clients. And it's just been a remarkable how she has just transformed before my very eyes. So I'm going to just open it up for questions, Angela, if we have some time.
Uh,
Anybody have anything? Any
minutes.
comments?
We have like 2 minutes for questions.
Okay.
And just as a testimonial, I've worked with Terri as a coach, and she is great to work with. So
Thank
I
you.
personal experience with Terri. Anybody have any questions? Oh, Ruben, oh, you've got your thumbs up. Okay. Anybody? Okay. Brian, you have your hand up? Question? Oh, he's clapping. He's clapping. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Good deal. Well, I encourage everybody, if nothing else, have a one-to-one with Terri and go on to her website, her social media, like, follow, and stay in touch and send referrals. Send warm referrals to her.
Yeah.
Terri, who do you like to connect with? What?
Oh, sorry. I thought my computer went off. I like to connect with event planners. I'm looking for uh, I just went right out my head. Oh, directors of movies. There's a
Okay.
word I'm trying to say. I can't think of it.
Producers,
What did you
producers,
say? Producers.
producers.
Producers. Yes. Thank you. And I'm also looking for just women and men who are just broken and they need help. They're stuck. In fact, in 15 minutes, I'm working with a male client. He's had already starting to have his transformation, and it's a beautiful thing. So churches is a big factor for me too. So if you have a church that you go to and you want to hand me over the women's ministry leader or the man's ministry leader, I'd be happy to take that and make a phone call to them. So
And I
thank
know
you for asking.
you work with broken people, but I'm sure you also work with hairline fractures as well.
Oh yes, yes. And I love helping business owners because like I said, I didn't get to share this, but after my transformation, I went on to open a domestic violence center and I started it from scratch and it's still going strong today. Even I'm not the leader of it because I moved to North Carolina from Minneapolis, but I'm very proud of that accomplishment. And so I definitely can help business owners get unstuck. Thank you,
Awesome.
Angela, for having me.